And I, the hunchback who was telling all this, was also there. I declared, "It is true that you have the feature of the little that holds the much, and I know what all of you meant." In other words, all those who boasted one by one of their little that holds the much, he knows what each of them meant. Even the final one who boasted that he leads around the big blind one, he is greater than all of you, but I am still greater and higher than all of you. Because he who boasted that he walks the big blind one, he means that he conducts the lunar cycle, in other words, the heavenly sphere where the moon is, for the moon is called blind. For she does not shine in and of herself, and she has nothing of her own whatsoever, and he, the one who boasted of all this, conducts the moon. Even though he is small, and the moon is very great, and this gives the entire world sustenance. In other words, by means of this, the entire world has existence. For the world is in need of the moon. Hence, he is certainly a true little that holds the much. However, all the same, my little that holds the much is completely higher than all of them. And here is the proof. For once there was a group that investigated, inasmuch as every beast has its shade in which it specifically wants to be or rest. And so every beast has their own unique shade. For each beast chooses for itself a shade, and it desires to rest only in that specific shade. And similarly, each bird has its branch, on which this specific branch this bird desires to perch, and not on any other branch. And another bird has a different branch, which only there it perches, and not on any other branch. And so each and every bird has their specific branch. Therefore, the group investigated if there could be found such a tree in whose shade all the beasts could rest, which all the beasts would desire to rest there in the shade of this tree. And upon the branches of this tree all the birds would perch. They investigated if such a tree was to be found, and they discovered that there is such a tree. They wanted to go there, to that tree, for the delight that there is there by that tree is absolutely limitless, since all the birds and all the beasts are found there. And there is no harm, and there no harm is extant from any beast whatsoever, which is to say, no beast injures anyone there. And all the beasts there mix freely. They all play there. And it is certainly a very wonderful pleasure to be there at that tree. They began to investigate which direction one needs to go to come to that tree. It became a dispute between them regarding this, and there was no one to decide. For this one said that it was necessary to go here, in this direction, to the east. Another said it was necessary to go to the west. One said here, another said there, and so on, until they could not discern the right way where they had to go. A sage came along and said to them, "Why are you investigating which direction is necessary to go to that tree? Investigate first who are the people who can come to that tree, because to that tree not every man can come, since no one can come to the tree except one who has the tree's attributes. For this tree has 3 roots. One root is faith, that one should believe in God, blessed is He. Another is awe, and a third is humility. In other words, not to have special regard for oneself. And truth is the body, the trunk of the tree, that is, the tree itself. is truth, and from there go out branches. Therefore no one can come to the tree, only one who has the traits of the tree: faith, faith in God, fear, one should fear God, and humility, one should not have any special regard for oneself and the truth. So the sage said to the group, however, did not all have these attributes. Only some of them had in themselves these traits, but they had between them a very great unity. The group all loved each other and held themselves tightly together. They did not want to separate from each other in order that some of them should go to the tree. In other words, those who already had these traits of the tree, and the rest would stay behind. They didn't want this, for they held themselves very much together. Instead, they had to wait until the rest of them would exert themselves in attaining these attributes, so that they could all come to the tree. And so they did, toiling until they all came to those traits mentioned above. In other words, they all waited for each other until they toiled, and they all came to those virtues mentioned above. That is, by now, they all have faith, fear, and so on, as mentioned. As soon as they all came to the attributes, then they all came to the one mindset, and everyone agreed on one way by which to go to the tree. They all went. They went along for a while until they could see the tree from afar. Meanwhile, they took a look, and the tree is standing on no place at all, for the tree has no space whatsoever. And since it has no place whatsoever, how can anyone come to it?